Violence against women and girls is a term that's easily recognized in every part of the world, and it's captured in four major headings: battering, trafficking, rape, and homicide. According to the United Nations, there's been about 4.5 million victims of human trafficking and sexual exploitation, and 98% of them are women and girls. Part of this number are victims of domestic violence. Abiade Abiola is a lawyer who has had a first-hand experience of domestic violence in a marriage that lasted 4 years, which began on the honeymoon night.
I went to the bathroom, freshened up and all that, waiting for my groom to come in. So I was waiting for like 2 hours and I didn't see him. I got worried, wondering where he was and all that. So that was around to 8 in the night. I went to the sitting room and I found him sleeping. I was like, oh, he's tired and all that.
And that, she says, was the culture all through the time of marriage, except for special moments.
Started lying about not having money, or was not responsible for the upkeep of the house. He only does it to reward me for a good deed. What are the good deeds? Maybe when he's arrested and I have to go and bail him. You know, I was practically bailing him out of jail twice in a month, once a month, sometimes 3 times a month. You know, I would just be called, your husband has been arrested. He's always on a business deal. He will collect money from people. He will not do the contract, you know. And those people will call, they'll be abusing. I lost my reputation. I lost my credibility as a representative of the legal system, so to speak. You know, it was horrible. And each time he's arrested, I go to the station to like talk to him, like, why are you doing this? He will abuse me before everybody. He will call me names. He will discredit me, tell me I'm not a good wife. You know, the verbal and psychological abuse was horrible. And gradually I started losing my confidence in myself. I became depressed. It was affecting my spiritual life, was affecting my professional life, because I just couldn't concentrate. I couldn't really give my best to anything. And he was always not at home. He will go for weeks. I won't be able to account for where he is. Then I found out that the periods that he's away are the periods that he gets money for the job. So he just squander away, doing whatever, I don't know. And I was living in penury at home.
Abiade says the accumulation of these affected her psychologically.
One day, his family came to visit, my family came to visit. And coincidentally, he had the debt of running to millions around that time. And I just started that normal thing I do. I thought it was normal then. I started, you know, tearing at my hair, started screaming. I became hysterical. I would jump up and throw myself on the floor. I was just doing all kinds. And my mother-in-law became scared. She came to me, she was shaking me. Abiade, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you? I couldn't stop. And my mom was screaming, my mom was crying, help me, she must not go mad and all that. I was hearing everything everybody was saying, but I just couldn't stop. And eventually, my mother-in-law felt I needed a shock, so she just slapped me twice. And of course, when she slapped me, the pain made me stop a while. Then after the pain, I just started rolling on the floor, screaming and all that. And eventually, they just gave up. And I have an aunt, she's a very close, dear friend. We are just 3 months apart, so we're more or less like twins. And she came to me, picked me up, hugged my head to her breast and started saying, Abiade, what do you want? She was the first person that asked the right question. Everybody was saying, Abiade, what's wrong with you? Abiade, what's wrong with you? I couldn't tell them because I didn't know what was wrong with me. I just knew I was doing something and I couldn't stop. And she said, Abiade, what do you want? Abiade, what do you want? And that was the first question that had meaning to me. And I said, take me to the person that joined us together.
With that, Abiade says she found the guts to walk out of the marriage, and today she uses her experience to empower other women and girls with similar experiences, as well as help the youth to avoid such pitfalls.
A lot of our women are going through abuse. In our culture, they think it's only physical abuse that's abuse. So when they see a woman that her husband is not beating, they're like, oh, she's not going through abuse. Even if she complains, they're like, Alashe Junior, you are too much. You are not contented. You know, because that's what they told me. Since I didn't have any mark on me, my ex didn't beat me not for one day. So anytime I cry out, they're like, he's not abusing you. You are just, you're not contented. You're not submissive. You are too hard. Those are the things they were telling me. And I found out that when I talk with women now, they're either being verbally abused by their husbands, psychologically abused, financially abused. Some of them, their professional lives is nowhere to be found because their husband keeps telling them not to go for opportunities, or they actually go against opportunities, against their progress. Some of them are going through spiritual abuse, all kinds of abuse. And when they want to talk, people will say they're not submissive. When they want to say no to it, some people on religious grounds say God hates divorce. You can't leave. And I'm not talking about Christian faith alone. All the faiths. They will tell you God hates it. Well, in as much as God hates it, we also have to keep in mind that God hates evil. God hates abuse. God hates slavery. He hates oppression. God is a God of justice. And everybody has a right to justice. Everybody has a right to protect their lives. And until we start recognizing this issue and we start addressing it as a community, people will keep breeding abusers.